Hello, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Dwayne. I got a video for that Kimball United States Army veteran, retired VA rating specialist, and your VA claim nugget man. I am joined today by David, the VA home loan GOAT, Peer Tech, all the way from Chi-Town. What is going on, David?
Love it. Thank you, Dwayne. That's good, man. It's still cold. I'm jealous of the Florida weather that you get to enjoy on a daily basis.
You know, it was raining. I woke up yesterday to rain, and it's overcast today. I just purchased some Franklin power backup batteries, and I'm like, man, I'm still at 20% because the sun is not out. So I'm like, I'm on the grid. I'm on the grid, but you know what? It's going to get hot here real soon. So I'm in no rush for that heat to come. But it is refreshing when you can just jump in the pool and the water is already warm. But anyway, I digress. So today we're going to be talking about, David, we're going to be talking about, can veterans lose their certificate of eligibility for VA home loans? And then I'm going to jump in. I'm going to cover, can veterans lose their VA compensation? Okay. Because a lot of veterans don't think about it. They just go through these different processes, and there's some that I never really even thought about. I knew about the compensation, adverse action, and all that stuff as a former VA rating specialist, but from the home loan side. So, David, I'll let you explain and give us some examples when veterans can lose that certificate eligibility and can no longer get a VA home loan.
Well, Dwayne, thanks again for having me on. So a couple and I'm actually glad that you brought this topic up because it's actually happened a couple times in the last month. Ooh. Where veterans had their certificate of eligibility while they were on active duty. And then after they got discharged, they lost that benefit. And let me explain how that happens, because you're like, well, how did I actually have it? Like, I have a copy of it and they send it to us. But then again, we pull a new certificate of eligibility, which normally they're good for about 60 days or so. Mm-hmm. So that's why we have to pull a new one every single time. So what can happen, or oftentimes happens to folks, is that, to get a certificate of eligibility, there's two main criteria. It's the length of service and character of discharge. So if you're on active duty, within 6 months during peacetime, you could already use your VA home loan, right? So let's say you're a year into service, you decide to purchase a property, you have your VA home loan, but then you don't serve a 24-month period. So let's say you serve 23 months and 3 weeks, and then you get discharged from the military typically it's from downsizing. And then you get out of service, and 20 years later, you're like, hey, I want to use the VA home loan again. Let me go ahead and get my certificate of eligibility. And then we try to pull it, and then you won't be able to use your VA loan because you don't meet the timeline for that criteria. And another thing that actually happens, which relates to VA disability compensation, is there's a lot of veterans that are even at 100% permanent in total, but they're not eligible for a VA home loan. And the way that happens is that I see this a lot through from the Army and from the Marine Corps. It's where someone wants to get discharged because they were medically hurt on active duty, but they don't get a medical discharge. They get a general discharge from the service. They may note it at the bottom like, oh, service member was injured, but they got a general discharge or an honorable discharge, not a medical discharge, which is the key factor here. Now, some veterans, and I haven't seen this successfully done, and maybe Dwayne, you could shine some light on this, is that once you get out of service, is it possible to go back and have your DD-214 updated or upgraded, should you say, to say medical discharge instead of a general discharge because of that?
Yes, the answer to that is yes. But you said Army and Marines. I don't know how hard it is for the Marines, but for the Army, it is extremely hard. I've seen where they did things like, oh, they gave out fake medals. Like, oh, here's a good conduct here's a good conduct medal for you serving in the reserves. And they send you a whole DD 215 and everything. And the veteran never served in the reserves. So they'll go to those links as to not do that upgrade. So I've seen it a couple of times talking with veterans.
Yeah, and definitely when with the reserve and the National Guard, I'm glad that you brought that up. Uh, so they typically you have to meet the criteria for the drill weekends and that 2 weeks a year. So we also get a lot of veterans that served in the Guard, but they didn't serve their full 6 year term, right? No prior. So if you have prior active duty, 24 months, you're eligible for the VA loan right away. You kind of bypass that 6 month requirement. But for a lot of National Guard and Reserve members, they haven't deployed, and then they maybe miss a drill or an AT, and then they never make up for it. And that's kind of the key part to that. Because I had this happen actually to myself being in the Guard a couple years ago, where my chain of command reached out and they're like, "Hey, David, you had a bad year." And I'm like, "A bad year?" Meaning that I have to serve an additional year to serve my 20 years. So I actually have to serve 21 years. So thank God I kept all my records of drill time. So then I was able to go back and have my points updated for the prior year. But if it wasn't for them catching it, I wouldn't have known that. So now every single year, I'm like meticulously checking that because you need to know what's going on. And to kind of go back to that medical discharge piece, there's so many active duty service members. I know there's a lot of people in like transition programs to get out of the service because of medical issues. It's so important to check that DD 214, like Dwayne was saying, and fight to get a medical discharge, and not just to push over and be like, okay, I'll just take it. And a lot of times the reason that happens is because somebody wants to go home. Right. And that's kind of the thing, because sometimes they'll keep you there for a year, like in this recovery unit, and it's going nowhere. And you're just fed up with it and you just want to get out. Just remember, if you do that and you don't meet that time in service, you're hurting yourself and your future opportunity to become a homeowner and leverage that amazing VA loan. Because on VA Housing Education YouTube channel, that's all we're covering. I mean, we have, I think, over 440 videos talking about all aspects of the VA home loan, including policy changes. Just like Dwayne, you're talking about all these changes within the VA disability system. It's important for you to understand that, but it's also important to understand your VA home loan benefit, because those two things combined open up so many opportunities. And I'll just give you a quick example. Having 100% VA disability, not only can you use that income to qualify right away, you can also get property tax breaks. One of the top things that people financially struggle with is paying for health insurance, right? So if maybe you can get health insurance, but you have to get insurance for your family, it helps alleviate some of that monthly budget to be able to give you some money back in your pocket. So I think it's always important to really focus in on, where am I at in life? Where does it make sense to begin that journey? And normally, I always say, Dwayne, is that VA home loans typically get better over time and VA disability continues to get worse. But there has been some changes they're trying to implement with VA home loans, which are not necessarily that positive, but in general, right, it's a pretty positive piece, to use your VA home loan benefit.
Yeah. Real quick, Dave, when I was listening to you talk about the discharge, there's a thing called CODs within the VA, character of discharges.
Mhm.
So if the veteran has honorable, under honorable, other than honorable, there's several that DOD gives, but some of those will be flagged by the VA and they'll say, we have to do a COD, a character of discharge. If the veteran meets the 24 months and they have a discharge that would disqualify them, if the VA says, hey, you're eligible for compensation benefits, is that enough? Or do they need to go to their branch and get that character discharge updated on their DD 214?
That's an excellent question. So that's a good one. That's a good one because this one always also gets people. So having a general and an honorable discharge from active duty would qualify you for a VA home loan. For a guard or reserve member, you must have a honorable discharge. Now, typically, so if you have a dishonorable discharge, you're going to have to get that upgraded. Other than honorable, I think we have to look at the circumstances that are listed on there, and we submit that to the VA because, I don't like to because even the VA says like, just because we have rules in place on the website doesn't mean anything. Still submit it because we want to manually review it to see if someone actually qualifies for the VA home loan. So other than honorable, dishonorable, you're going to have to get that upgraded. And I know that a lot of people, related to PTSD, might have been acting out or doing things, and then they just kind of got kicked out or brushed to the side because those things weren't addressed. I don't know what that process looks like to get that upgraded. But if it's definitely worth fighting so you can reclaim some of those benefits.
I would say this, excuse me, if you receive a character discharge from the Department of Veterans Affairs called COD, they'll tell you you're barred from compensation for this period and you're barred from healthcare, or you're barred from compensation, but you're approved for healthcare. Always appeal that if they say you're barred, especially if let's say someone, they came up hot on a piss test, right? So I've seen many of those and they get a bar, but they'll appeal it and say, for whatever reason, they did this, and they'll get an upgrade, not on their DD 214, but within the VA. So they are now eligible for compensation. And this is the trick, Dave. It's going to depend on the individual that's reviewing it, because I've seen different individuals review similar cases and have different outcomes, meaning yes and no. So if it's a no, always appeal it, because you do have appeal rights when that happens. So if you have an individual like, oh, you did this, oh, you're not entitled to it, but you could be if they say yes, in which sometimes they can. It just depends on the individual. And that leads us into the compensation piece. Can your benefits get taken away? Yes. Have I taken veterans' benefits away? Yes. As a former VA Raider, I've taken veterans' benefits away. I'm not proud of it, but guess what? They're not telling the whole story, David. They're not saying, like I gave an example one time, a veteran was service connected for a knee replacement. Comes back in, claims the other opposite knee, secondary to that knee he had a knee replacement for. So I'm looking at it, and the examiner says the veteran didn't have a knee replacement on either knee. So I'm like, well, that's odd. So I go back to the rating decision, code sheet. Yep. I think it's 5, diagnostic code 5055, total knee replacement. Go to the rating decision, granted him temporary 100%, paragraph 30, for 100 months for convalescence. Now it's like a string on that sweater. Now I'm pulling. I go to the operative report. Guess what I find? The veteran had a knee scope, not a knee replacement. Therefore, the total knee replacement shouldn't have been granted. So now I have to propose to sever and propose to reduce, because I'm taking the veteran from 30 to 10. Also, I've seen it where a veteran is, let's say, 70% for PTSD, and they file a claim for individual unemployability, and they fail to realize individual unemployability, IU, is not a standalone claim. It is a claim for increase in the service-connected conditions that they state on that 8940 prevent them from gainful employment. So if you're at 70% for PTSD, you're saying, hey, you should be 100. So I've seen it sometimes where the veteran, we confirm and continue. I've actually done it, confirmed and continue the 70% for PTSD, granted IU. I've also granted the 100%, okay, for the PTSD, which makes IU moot and deny IU. But I've also denied the IU and did a proposal to reduce the PTSD from 70 from 50 because the veteran went to the exam and it showed improvement, and that 70% have been in effect for less than 5 years. So the moral of the story is, when it comes to IU, hey, just make sure those percentages have been in effect more than 5 years, because if the exam shows improvement, they can't do a proposal to reduce. They need 2 exams to show improvement. So, we hear a lot of veterans saying, I got reduced, this and that. And then I start asking questions like that string on that sweater, and I get to pulling, and they're like, I don't know, which leads me to believe that they weren't educated before they filed that claim. And like you said, if you got a family, money's tight, it could help. You get to that 100%. You got unlimited health care, medication, treatment through the VA. Now you can apply for Champ VA, with your family. Every little bit helps, and it could be enough to offset that, where if you have a home, you can stay in that home. But again, it comes down to being educated. Obviously, on the VA home loan side, you dropped a lot of nuggets, and then also on the VA compensation side. So, Dave, I'll give you the last words before we close out. Did we miss anything from the home loan side that you think? You said a lot. You got over 400 videos, But again, this is the time for people to watch these videos. It's not always roses and peaches or whatever, because we're not like sitting on a beach in Cabo, kick back with some margaritas. These topics are not sexy like that, but they are very important, like you said, because down the road is key. So I give you the last word, David.
Yeah, and I'll kind of sum it up with what you just mentioned, is that it's not always something that you need right now, right? You may be on active duty, just got in, learning about VA disability, because it's important to know, 10 years ago, they didn't have, YouTube wasn't this popular, right? So to get information, it was all handed down. And that handed down information still today plagues veterans with misinformation.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure that you get, watch the channel, both of our channels, and stay up to date on what's happening. Because if it's not you, it's somebody else that you can help through that process. Because again, I can't stress how many times, even when I'm at drill or I'm meeting other military folks, and I overhear house, and I'm like, oh, let me listen in. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, they just gave the wrong information. And it's like, and then I have to step in because I'm a steward of good information. And I'm like, hey, by the way, I'm in the business. This is how it works. And this is not what to look at. So again, it's just like a lot of misinformation out there. And what we're providing is just like straight facts. And like I said, it's not always the sexiest thing. It's maybe a very minute detail, but that small detail could be the difference between you becoming a homeowner or using other loan programs that are more expensive and tightening your budget even more, especially with VA disability. Like you mentioned, Dwayne, it's really the small stuff that gets you at the end, right? The big stuff that you could document, great. But it's that small stuff of the difference between moderate and medium pain might be the difference between a 15 and 30% rating, but just not even understanding that part puts you in a bad position. So, but thanks again for having me on. Always good to see you.
Yeah, likewise. And people will still continue to bring you videos where we're talking about VA home loans, VA compensation. We have a live stream the second Wednesday. So we'll continue to bring you these educational videos, and make sure you watch to the end, because we're dropping a lot of nuggets. With that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and as always, share these videos with your fellow veterans. Thank you.